Yeah. Can you hear me? The audio coming clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me know once we are live, Archana.
We are live.
Okay. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to our third resume live session. Before we start off, I want to say something about this channel and then about our host of the day, and then I'm going to talk to you about what we are trying to achieve over here. So first, I want to tell you what this channel is all about. Clan Career Convo is India's first career conversations or job conversations channel. हम लोग इस चैनल पे करियर के बारे में, जॉब्स के बारे में डाउट्स क्लैरिफाई करते हैं, क्वेश्चंस जो भी हैं आपके, वी क्लैरिफाई योर क्वेश्चंस, job related, career related, any stream related, anything that you have, you guys can ask us the question and TMD will answer this. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind is, who is TMD and why does he have the right to answer these questions? So TMD is an expert recruiter. He's been in the business for 30 years. He is the founder chairman of a company called TMI Group, which is India's top 5 talent acquisition firm. And he has written 2 books. That is, one is Your Right First Job, an expert's guide to your right first job, and 101 entry-level jobs for MBAs and graduates. Both the books are available on Amazon. You guys can go and purchase it. We will put the links below. So as a recruiter, TMD has seen more than about 10 lakh resumes and he's hired about 4 lakh people. So obviously he will know what recruiters see in a resume, what they like, what they dislike in a resume. That is why we do this. So my request to all of you is subscribe to this channel, hit on the bell icon so that we can post videos and you can gain whatever knowledge you can gain from it. Also, any career doubts you have, you can comment on the YouTube channel and we will get the answers to it. We also have a career helpline, India's first career helpline on SMS. I will be giving the number at the end of the session. So please hold on, please hang on to your seats. Please enjoy the show. And also today we'll be reviewing 4 resumes. TMD will be taking you guys through it. So we've randomly selected these 4 resumes and obviously if one of you drop out, we will be giving you the chance next time. That being said, we have selected 4 resumes for TMD to review. So before we start, TMD, my first question I have for you is, how important is the font in a resume?
I think the font, when you talk about a font, you should understand what does the font mean when you look at a paper on which some font is written. There are 2-3 parts of the font. One is the size of the font. If the lettering is too big, it's jarring. Lettering is very small, it's irritating to read. So you should have the right font size. That is the number one. Because if you're not able to read properly, I'll throw the resume out. I don't have patience to read a resume which I can't understand. The second part is, what is the font family which you are choosing? The font family, normally, typically, you use Times Roman or some very, very good. There are 3 or 4 fonts which are very popular. And these fonts are easy to read. The whole purpose of the font family is to make sure readability is high. It doesn't take too much of stress on you to read. And the third is about font itself, whether it is underline, boldface, whatever, right? So when we talk about font is very important, because if the font is not good, I will not be able to read your resume easily. If I'm not able to read the resume easily, I am not going to read it. Okay, so the answer is clear. Font is important, but just because the font is very good doesn't mean you'll get shortlisted. Font is only a requirement for your resume to be read.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with reviewing the first resume. Just a second. I'll open the first.
So then first show some for this audience.
Yeah.
You need to show them some guidelines on the.
Of course, TMD. Yes, we can do that.
So let's do that first, because then they should also know how I'm evaluating the.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to start sharing a few screens. Can you all see this? Is it visible to all of you?
It is TMD. It is visible.
It's coming up. 1 second. Yeah. So I think I'm going to put 25 or 6 or 7 slides here to explain how does the recruiter look at a resume? What is he looking for? What is he or she looking for? And therefore, if you prepare as per that, your chances are very high. When you say recruiter, there are 2 types of recruiters. One person like me, who is actually shortlisting for my customer. The second recruiter is working within the company itself, who's also shortlisting the resume for somebody else to see. So the primary purpose of the resume, the covering letter, is to go beyond that gate. The gate is called, the recruiter is a gate. You have to cross that gate and go somewhere else. So what does the resume do? Basically, resume is your ambassador. Imagine you are not in the room. The resume is talking to that recruiter and says something about you. And what the resume says to that particular recruiter is so interesting. The recruiter says, yeah, oh, I like this resume. I want to meet this person. So what outcome do you want? At the end of watching the resume or reading the resume, you want the recruiter to say, hey, I like this. I want to meet this person. That's all you're expecting. You're not going to get a job offer by your resume. Many people think they'll get a job offer. They don't get a job offer. The resume takes you beyond this gate to the next person in this queue, which may be the boss, or it could be an interview call. So that is what you have to understand. So the resume must speak as an ambassador to that person who's a recruiter in a very, very professional way, in a way so that it speaks for that individual so that person gets shortlisted. That is the purpose. So at the end of the presentation, you know what works in a resume, what doesn't work in the resume, why does it work or not work, and six-step resume rating process I'm going to highlight. So this will be useful. Whenever you write a resume, you must follow the 6-step process I'm giving. That will help you. First, everybody on the you can see on the left-hand side is an Eiffel Tower. On the right-hand side is called an electricity transmission tower. If you transmit electricity, it goes from one city to another. The right-hand side is a junk. Nobody wants to admire the right-hand side, but the left-hand side is what is the Eiffel Tower. It's one of the world's 8 wonders of the world. So when you make a resume, you think you are writing a resume which look like Eiffel Tower. But invariably, you end up the resume start looking like an electricity tower. I want you to understand this very clearly, right? So what the government, Stanford University in 1990, they did a small experiment on tappers and listeners experiment, it's called. It's a very famous experiment. You can go and read up on the Google. What they said was, they asked a person to listen to a music on the headphone and tap something on the table. And the other party, based on the tapping, who's a listener, has to guess what that music is all about. When they did that experiment, it was a very interesting experiment, they found that 90% of the tappers thought it is very easy to guess what the music is all about. But only 10% of the listeners could understand the tapping. So what they are saying is, you are having a music in your ears. The tapper has the music in his ears, and therefore he is typing as per the music. But the listener does not have the music in his ears, and therefore listener is not able to comprehend. Now, what is the interpretation in the format of a resume? Resume, you know yourself. So you are writing a resume like a tapper. You know who you are, and you're writing the resume as you know it. But the other person doesn't know you. So he cannot understand your tapping unless you are able to explicitly state who you are, what you are, and what kind of personality you are. And this is a very important point. Do not assume they know you. They don't know you. It is going as a blank sheet of paper, and therefore you have to make an impression and look like an Eiffel Tower when you finally finish the resume. So that's the talk I talked about this entire game, and the tappers were given happy birthday to you and jingle bells, and the guy typed according to him, but only 2.5% of the people guessed it right. This is what I told you just now, the story, right? One minute, just. Okay, so this is all of us must understand when you send a resume, they don't know you, how you present that resume, they will get an idea of who you are, and therefore you have a responsibility to make the resume very, very carefully. Then this is the survey we did among recruiters. What is the most preferred method to receive resumes? Most of them said email with covering letter is the best way to receive. And email with both documents and attachments, only 72% of the people were happy receiving it. But sending it in a postal form or no preference is about 28%. So what it means is that most of the time people want to receive both the resume and the covering letter as an email attachment. That's the most popular form of receiving. What do they look for? I think this is very important. If you see out of so many number of people, 250 people, the first thing people look for is in the bottom. What is the relevance of your work experience? If that is not coming out clearly in the resume, you're lost the case. You'll be dropped out. The second thing they look for is, do you have the relevant qualification? The job requires some qualification. Do you have it? The third thing they look for is, have you studied in any good college? If you studied in a premier institute, they give a lot of weightage. And the fourth one, which is most important, is what are the top 5 accomplishments you've achieved in your jobs till now? So the last 4 at the bottom is what the resume should highlight. This is what you should have in the resume, right? What are the complaints people give about the resume? This is very important because when you say, people say that especially entry level, a lot of spelling and grammars, 194 of them said that there are spelling and grammar mistakes. How can a guy make a mistake in an error when he spelling mistake when he sends a resume to me? That means he doesn't care. I don't want to shortlist. So you can never have spelling and grammar mistake. Second biggest error which can go against you, lack of related or unrelated experience. You have to make sure the experience is related to the job role. And that is why I always say, make a resume which is for each and every job role, every application, make a separate resume. Don't have standard resume. Standard resume is shooting yourself in your head. Third is unprofessional looking. This is where I talked about the font. Certain fonts give you professional look. So fonts are important. The colors they use, too many colors is not a good thing. We'll talk about it later on. Missing or unclear dates. Supposing you say, I studied in college, when did you pass out? So this gives you what you should not do, right? Now, when I look at a resume, this is what I'm going to use to check whether the resume makes sense or not. Or is it a good resume or a bad resume? The look and feel. When I look at the resume, how does it come across? Does it become professional, the fonts, etc.? Second, the size of the resume. The resume should not be 3 or 4 pages. It should be able to say maximum 2 pages. If you're a fresher or less than 2 years of experience, you might be able to write in maximum 1.5 pages. You have to condense it. Assume that the other person is reading the resume, you must be able to quickly glance through the resume in 15 seconds. If the fonts are bad, if you put too much of content in it, if it takes more than 15 seconds, I'll just throw it. Imagine, for your sake, I've got a bunch of resumes in front of me. I take out the resume. If I don't find it interesting, I throw it on the left. And if I find it interesting, I throw it on the right. Right people are shortlisted. Now you imagine you got only 15 seconds for me to decide to put on the left or on the right. Now you imagine the pressure the resume must meet for you to be on the right side. Too many highlighting in the resume is not a good thing. You should use font and color to highlight only select portion of the resume, and the select highlighting portion should be able to establish the relevance of the qualification, relevance of the experience. Self-introduction is very important, including personality trait, who am I and where am I today? Educational highlight, what did I study? Where did I study? This is important. Then the work history, chronological. In every work history, talk about what did you learn, what did you achieve, and give the size of the job. How big was the organization? How big is my job? Also is very, very important, right? Now, top 3 skills with certification. Use project work to establish skills, and so on. So the tips are basically research the role of the employer, customize the resume and covering letter, minimum 1 hour. You must spend minimum 1 hour per application. What gets your resume noticed immediately? The way you present your personality. What do you want to do? How you're presenting your career objective to be relevant to the job and the company you're applying for. And how did you become what you are? It's a journey. So we'll stop here, and we're going to now look at the resumes from the standpoint of, this is the most important criteria we're going to use. Does it have the right look and professional look and feel? Does it have the right size? Does it take to highlight the relevance of the education and the qualification? Are you giving your self-introduction with a proper way? Are you able to do the educational highlights and the chronological history? So we'll stop here, and I'm going to stop the resume, and I'm going to start reviewing the resume from that standpoint.
Before we start the resume review, TMD, I have one question. We write the contact details, the phone number on the resume so that the recruiter can reach us. Why exactly do we mention the address? And I will tell you why I'm asking this question. There are people whose hometown is maybe some village and they come to the city, right? And most of the people put their hometown address rather than the city address. So I wanted to understand, what is the purpose of writing the address on the resume?
Yeah, okay. I think it's a very good question. I want you to understand that the address model was in the era where people have to come for an interview, right? So supposing I am in Hyderabad company, and the Hyderabad company is now shortlisting candidates, right? Who will they shortlist first for a resume, for an interview? People from Hyderabad.
People from Hyderabad, yeah.
Right? If you say you're in Jammu and Kashmir, and I put the address in Jammu and Kashmir, then I would say, okay, good, interesting candidate. Let's wait. If I don't get anybody in Hyderabad, then I'll open up my. Why? Because I have to pay them my airfare to come, train fare to come, wherever interviews are. My costs are higher. Secondly, I'm not sure whether the guy will actually move from Jammu to Hyderabad. Hyderabad to Hyderabad is easy to move for job role. So therefore, the address is important from the fact companies are assessing what is the probability of this guy joining or coming for the interview and joining the company. So how much closer you are to the local address of where the job posting is, your chances of getting shortlisted is better.
Yeah, so basically, do not put your hometown address if you're staying in the city. Put the.
Yeah, if your job is in Hyderabad, you're already in Hyderabad, please put Hyderabad address. Don't put hometown address.
Okay, so we'll start with the first resume, Mr. Mahesh, Chatla Mahesh Babu. Are you there online? If you are, please unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Hi. Mahesh, before we start, I wanted to understand, why are you with the name Vikram on Zoom?
Sorry, ma'am, is automatically generates my name.
Okay. So I'm going to rename you as Mahesh. Is that okay?
Okay, ma'am, no problem.
I'll just put it as C Mahesh. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Yeah. Okay. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. So the first criterion we said, does it look like a professional resume? Yes. Right. Clearly, it's nicely designed. You got the right colors. It's not too strong colors. Limited colors are there. So first look and feel. I like the resume. It's only one pager, which is also very good. My first question, Mahesh, is that you're making the resume for what job role?
So I'm making that software developer role, sir.
Are you working anywhere now?
No, sir, I am a fresher.
You're a fresher. And you're looking for a job in the IT industry, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in the IT industry, are you looking for a coding job or a testing job or a networking job? What kind of job are you looking for?
I'm looking for a coding job, sir.
All right, coding job. Now, this is very important.
Yes,
please understand, when I'm getting the resume, I'm going to look at you from the standpoint, you're going to forward it to a company for which they were asked for people to apply for, freshers to apply for a coding job, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to review this as if you applied for a coding job. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
In IT industry. All right. Now look at what is the first thing which I see when I look at this BTech computer science, right? Definitely, I would highlight this because that is a very important data for a computer job. There are many people who apply for non-computer science, But computer science graduates are better than non-computer science graduates, right? So first thing you should highlight that, boldface it, highlight boldface, right? Second one is Vikas Group of Institutions, Vijayawada. And year of passing is October 2020. That is fine. Now we are in 2022. Now, what does it tell me now about you, Mahesh? You haven't got a job for last 1.5 years?
Actually, I get the job in 2021, but I didn't go there, sir. I
So
actually got the
what
job.
happens is, I will not shortlist you if you put that you've been unemployed for the last 1.5 years, right? So I will not put this on year of passing. I'll delete it from there. I'll not put it. When they come and ask for interview, you can tell them. But at the interview stage, you should not put the year of any data which goes against you. Don't put it. Similarly, score 6.6 by 10. Is it a good score in a relative scoring? What is the maximum mark you can get in BTech computers? In your class, in the same class where people studied with you, what is the maximum they got in the class?
They got 76%, highest score.
Percentage. This is not a percentage. This is a CGPA, right?
Yes, sir.
CGPA 6.6 looks very low to me. I know many people get 9, 9.5 and all that, right? The relative scoring, right?
Yes, sir.
So again, you should ask yourself, should I put a score of 6.6 among 10? Is this going to be in my favor or against my interest, right?
Yes, sir.
So I would say that if it's relative scoring, I would not put it. If it is a percentage, 66%, I will put it. Above, it means above first class, right? 66% I might put. CGPA of 6.6 is not a great number. For an IT industry we are hiring, especially applying for Infosys or a TCS, they've got a lot of candidates applying like you. Okay? Now look at the second part is very interesting. Schooling. Andhra Pradesh, then you put medium of instruction English. Very good. Highlighted because many of the candidates who apply for jobs don't have English medium schooling. English medium schooling is very, very, very positive. Understand?
Okay, sir.
So you should highlight it.
Yes,
that is good thing. But look at your percentage of pass. 63%, 61%. Good. Last 10, 61% is very low. This is what CBSE.
Yes,
which one is it? CBSE or a state board?
State board, sir.
If you put state board, 61% is very low, right? So don't put it. Don't put it. Because it doesn't look good to me. Okay?
Okay, sir.
And then comes now, let us say you're applying for a coding job. Now you are looking at a web application for managing sports and you're doing a project in January 2020 and May 2020. Where are we now? You are around 2022, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the relevance of the project? How much of project do you remember? Supposing I ask you 10 questions on the application, is the technology relevant? Are you using the right tools? Things have changed in 2 years' time, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have to be careful whether you put January to this thing, you may not put it, delete that. You leave the project, but delete January 2020 to May 2020. Don't put it because it's going against you.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Because I don't want them to think, what the hell is this 2 years old project is showing me? I'm not interested. Because I told you 15 seconds, I want to throw your resume on the left or right, right?
Okay, sir.
All right. Now, apart from this, you have not put a application, work experience not applicable. Why should I hire you now? Go down. Anything else? So it's a very concise resume, but you will not get shortlisted. You will have to now explain to me why I should shortlist you. That is why I said that I will write a paragraph about me. I say, I, Mahesh Babu, I am I'm very passionate about computer science. I've been, even though I've not worked for the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of something. What you have been doing for the last 2 years? You can't be sitting at home and say, I want a job now, right? You have to tell a story. What did you do for the last 2 years? You might say that I worked with my friend, I did something else, but you have to explain that 2 year period. Do you understand?
Okay, sir.
And you have to explain that in the context of saying you are very passionate about computer science and did some computer work. Some courses you have done in the 2 years, highlight that.
In the left side, he is written about skills TMD.
Skills are not the same as certification.
I know, but how would you
first of all, if you put too many skills, PHP, if they give you a test on PHP, will you pass? Which of the skills you are writing there, you should be able to take a test and prove that you are very good. So don't put any skill on which you cannot take a test. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And look for certification. Whenever you talk about a skill, you should have a certification. Java, if you say that I have Java from the certification, I have the certification from so-and-so place. Python, look, if you have a certification along with it, online course, do anything, it will be useful.
No, sir.
Okay. And secondly, why you're not enrolled for an online MS course or something in computer science?
My parents
Online
are
courses
not
available,
able to.
right? Worldwide, there are a lot of MS courses available.
Yes, sir. But my parents are not able to afford those courses. That's why I
Online
didn't
is
do
cheaper,
that.
right?
No, sir.
Okay,
They
anyway,
are,
what I would do for you, because please understand, see, as is where his resume may be difficult to shortlist. You have to now do something to make it interesting for me to shortlist you, right? So one is
Okay.
Microsoft and others to enroll for some courses which are free or low price. But show me that you are interested in computer science. You cannot say 2 years I'm sitting at home, I don't have money to do any courses, I don't have a job, I didn't want to go and take the job, I'm sitting at home. That is not a good story. All right?
Okay, sir.
Good luck. All the best.
TMD, one question
Thank
I
you, sir.
have is, he's written his GATE test rank. Is it relevant over here or?
Yes, I think sometimes the GATE is see, somebody may not understand GATE. The GATE is a common entrance examination for a master's level in engineering. So this 30,000 number, I don't know whether it's a good number or not. How many, if you have a 30,000, you didn't get admission any place there with the 30,000 rank? Did you get admission?
Yes, sir. I get admission
You got admission where?
in KL University, sir.
In not KL University. That is not important for MTech. We are talking about like IITs, NITs, none of them, this score is not good enough, right?
Yes, sir.
So then don't give the score. Don't give a score which will go against you. If the GATE rank,
Okay,
let's say
sir.
5,000, 6,000, rank is very good, you got admission to NIT, then I will put, right?
Okay, sir.
Admission into, for example, National Institute of Training, NIT, right? NIT or IITs will be useful. For high score, don't give, not important. And I will
Okay,
put
sir.
languages loan also, English first, then Telugu, then Hindi.
Do you think
Companies are
it
not
would
interested,
be,
IT companies are not interested in Telugu language. Yeah.
but do you think it would be good if he can mention if he is like, if he can write well or read well, something
Yes,
like that?
that personal introduction he has to write. Now, last time I said, you have to say that what is your strength. If you're passionate about computer science, what are you good at? Are you a detailed person? Are you a problem-solving person? So a lot of description in the book we have described what kind of personality you need to be a good software coder. It's already there in the book. But he has to read up a lot and those description which suits a programmer. And he introduces himself.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
I
Mahesh.
will.
So TMD, before we go on to the next resume, my question to you is, how important is it to mention your date of birth along with the year of birth?
No, date of birth is not important normally. People are trying to guess what is your age, right? So if supposing I'm doing an entry level job hiring for a fresher in IT and your age is 35, I may not want to shortlist you. So age is important, not the date of birth. But since the people put a date of birth because the same resume, it will, if next year when you change the resume, the year has to go up by 1 year, right?
Yeah.
So if you put a resume, a lazy way of saying it is the same date, you can calculate for yourself an age. Right. So I would put always date of birth is not important, year of birth is important, or how old are you? I'm 27-year-old. By the description itself, I can put my age, what I want to say.
Is
But
the
the age
age
will be in your favor.
important, TMD, or is the number of experience, years of experience is important?
Yes, I would say years of experience is more important than your age. Supposing you say I'm 27 years old and I've got 1 year of experience, I'll calculate and say, what, you've been unemployed for a long time.
Yeah.
So you have to write all data which will make you scream at the other person, hey, I'm the right guy for you. That's what the resume should say, right? You should not put anything which he can hold it against you.
Absolutely.
At the same time, you cannot lie. You cannot put something which is not true. They'll catch you anyway. Who's
Right.
next?
Next, we have Meenakshi. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, ma'am.
So I'll share my screen. Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. I would say that compared to the previous resume, this is not as professional as the first resume. Mahesh Babu's resume was better. So the fonts he has used, the layout he has done is better. But for example, career objective, I'm a fresher in the corporate culture, but ready to accept the challenges, utilizing my technical skills. Would like to work with highly esteemed company. Work with a highly esteemed or in an esteemed, it should be in a highly esteemed company, which gives me a platform to use my experience and skills for mutual growth and benefit of the company and myself. This doesn't mean anything. Delete the whole thing and write something about you. I am Meenakshi. I am 27 years old. I'm very passionate about something. I am a good writer. This is what I do very well. I don't do very well. Write something which describes. Somebody went to ask Meenakshi, can you please introduce yourself? What will you write in your favor? Do you understand?
Yes.
This is you cut and pasted. Everybody write the same thing. I will work very hard. I'll work for the benefit of the company. Nobody reads it. Nobody means anything. Use that space to write an introduction about who you are. Do you understand?
Okay, sir. Understood.
All right. Now let's go back to your academic qualification. So you are in JNTU in Telangana. Okay. 2021 first class 6.90 CGPA and Polytechnic. That's what, a 3-year course?
Yes, sir. 3 years.
Right? 3-year course that you did in 2016. So between 2016 and 2021, 5 years, you are working somewhere?
3 years, sir.
Pardon?
3 years, sir.
3 years you worked
Polytechnic,
somewhere.
3 years. Okay.
All right. Okay. See, normally high school, you also did high school, which is what? First class, 2013, high school. What is that? High school means what? Class 12?
No, sir. 10th.
Class 10. So from
Yes.
class 10, you went to Polytechnic directly, correct?
Okay.
So you should write here a class 10 because high school people can't make out as 10th or 12th. Correct?
10th.
So I'll put high school within bracket class 10. Right?
Okay.
And you studied in Telangana. Okay. Very good. First class, this is coming out very clearly. First class is good. Though the marks in CGPA are not very good. I would not say 6.9 is very good. I might even leave the marks CGPA completely out and I'll put just first class. Because
Thanks.
the mark 6.9 CGPA is nothing great, right? In your class, who's the highest performer? JNTU, H, what is the highest percentage CGPA somebody got in your class?
75, sir.
75% or a 7.5 CGPA? Something is wrong. People get 9.5 CGPA at the university level, right? University was the topper, JNTU. You got 75.
In my college, 75% it talks.
What percentage? CGPA is different from percentage. CGPA is a typically relative scoring system. And the highest is 10, right?
Okay.
Anyway, so I don't know whether it's the percentage, then you put percentage.
Okay.
Okay, now go down. Now you've gone for 3 years of training and then skills, basic. Now I ask you the same question. If I give you a test on all these 5, are you equally good? Which skills you are the best?
Software developers.
Pardon?
Software developers.
No. Which skill among the 5 skills you mentioned, which one you are number 1, where you are extremely good?
Are you Telugu, Meenakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so ఇది 5 మీరు ఇక్కడ మెన్షన్ చేశారు కదా, దీంట్లో మీది ఏది బెస్ట్ నాలెడ్జ్ మీకు ఏంట్లో ఉంది? బేసిక్స్, C++, జావా, ఎక్సెల్, మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ MS ఆఫీస్,
C++.
C++ team.
Yeah, so you should put C++ first.
So ఇది ఫస్ట్ మీరు ఇది ఫస్ట్ గా వేసాలి. So you have to put it in the order of best to worst.
Yeah, and then you put only 3 because if they give you a test on MS Office or Excel, you fail, they'll not shortlist you. Do not put something where they can give you a test. Secondly, certification is not there in any of them, right? For example, Microsoft certification on Excel will help. If you have a Microsoft certification or a C++ certification or Java certification, you must look at where do I get certification from? Because otherwise you say you know everything, but there's no proof that you know how much, right? I don't know. Next, you go down to project, industry-oriented, mini project, dissertation on implementation or dual elevator controller. Okay.
Okay.
And that is more of electronics, right? Not software. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Is it software or electronic? Is it more of electronic project or a software project? This is
Software projects.
all right. Okay. DRDL, Ministry of Defense, November. Okay. What is serial number?
13148 EC0.
No, ఇది మీ serial number.
Diploma.
It's her diploma number, team.
Yeah, we don't need all that. What will I do with it? Cut it off.
Yeah, you can cut it off. Yeah.
Now, certificate courses you mentioned here, for example, Java programming, your state board certificate courses, state board DRDL. Where did you get Java programming certification? Which of them you got certification from? Where you should mention? It's not there.
ఇది ఎక్కడి నుంచి కోర్స్ చేశారు అది మెన్షన్ చేయాలి మీనాక్షి.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, go down. Kachibowli, date of birth, 1996. Okay, now, if you look at it, how good is your English? Is not good?
Yes, sir. Better.
Okay.
Pardon?
Yeah.
English is not good?
మీకు కంఫర్టబుల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ తెలుగు మీనాక్షి?
Telugu, madam.
Telugu is comfortable for.
Go back upstairs, one more. Go back page 1. So again, I'm going back to ask the simple question: will I shortlist this resume? What am I looking for? Meenakshi, you have to be really making a strong pitch as to why I should shortlist you, right?
Okay, sir.
What you have mentioned is all the facts about you, but you're not making a pitch as to why I should shortlist you. So first, you rewrite the first paragraph, career objective as something about you. Who is Meenakshi? Somebody asked you, Meenakshi, can you please introduce yourself? What will you write? Write that, okay? And then go down to academic qualification. I'll drop out, go down. I will drop the polytechnic completely. I will not put it because BTech is the highest qualification you got. Polytechnic doesn't give you the right impression, right? So I'll skip that completely. Straight away, I'll go to BTech and then I'll leave even high school completely out. It doesn't make a difference to me. You didn't do English medium in high school, right? You didn't do, right?
The
English
Telugu medium
mediums.
school,
English medium.
English medium only. Sir.
Then you should mention
And
English
Basically,
medium.
not English medium. 6th to 10th English medium.
Okay, it's not fully English medium; it's partial. But you can mention it.
Yeah, if it's English medium, you should mention it. Otherwise, it's not so important because polytechnic is not seen as a very strong position for IT recruitment. You want to apply for IT job, right?
Yes, sir.
You're writing. What are you applying for? IT job or an electronics job?
IT jobs, sir.
All right. So therefore, I think it's important to polytechnic will be very useful if you're applying for an engineering job, not for an IT job. So I would not put polytechnic. I'll put high school and BTech. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And then the year also 2013 and 21. What is the experience you got? 2013 to 2021. You're not working anywhere?
No.
Sorry, 2016 21. 2016 to 21. What were you doing?
I think 16 to 19 was the polytechnic course. So 19 to 21, 2 years. Em chesaru, Meenakshi?
No, 2016.
Somewhere
when you
gap,
did year of
sir.
passing out.
Oh,
No, no,
this is year of passing out, right? So
Yes.
మీరు ఇది గ్యాప్ వచ్చింది ఇక్కడ 5 years.
Yes, ma'am. అది కొంచెం హెల్త్
Years.
ఇష్యూ వల్ల నేను రెస్ట్ తీసుకున్నాను.
She's taken a rest because of health issues.
Yeah, so
Diploma
you have to
after
write.
rest. Yes.
Marriage అయిపోయిందా?
No, not married, ma'am.
Not married.
See, Meenakshi, you have to explain to me, if I'm a recruiter, what were you doing for 5 years, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
you should write that 5 years, I was in family, some problems were there, whatever you want to write, but write something strong to make me believe you're not lazy or you are not a person who's not able to get a job for 5 years. So will you hire somebody who's not able to get a job for 5 years? Every day he goes for the interview and don't get a job. Will you hire the person? I will not hire. So don't mention that. So you remove that 2016 also from that, 2013 also you remove that. Just put electronics and communication 2021. The rest of them, you don't put the year because you have to now explain 5 years what were you doing. Correct?
That's
In the resume, you cannot lie, but do not write in the resume something which will reject you. Are you understanding?
okay, sir.
Okay. So I would say that polytechnic, delete. High school, you can delete. If you're not, if English medium is not there, delete it. Just put NTU 2021. That's it. In education. Then go down. You have to start focusing on skills part. Prioritize based on which is the best you have. First 1, 2, 3 maximum. And all of them you have to talk about trying. You're doing something now in some online courses. There is no excuse for any of you for not doing any online. Because 5 years ago you studied. Now you, let's say 2021, go back. After the BTech is not in computer science, right? The BTech is in electronics, correct?
Electronic. Yes, sir.
And you are trying to get a job in IT industry. So you have to show me a lot of IT courses that you have done. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And I will skip the DRDL Ministry of Defense also. That is also a diploma. Because of
Yes,
diploma you did, right? After diploma you went there, correct?
Yes.
This
Industrial
is after the
training.
diploma, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, so I would say that I would modify the resume, delete some portion, add something, what I mentioned to you, and then you should go and ask yourself, will this resume presents you properly? Will tell the other person, no, I must meet Meenakshi. She looks very interesting to me. I want to meet her. If I don't say that by looking at a resume, the resume is great. You got that?
Oh, okay, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
I would like to give you one suggestion, Meenakshi.
Okay, ma'am.
మీరు ఒక్క పారాగ్రాఫ్ మీ గురించి రాసుకోండి సరేనా
Okay,
just
okay.
about you as a person, you as a software developer and why anybody should hire you. ఆ పారాగ్రాఫ్ మీరు తెలుగులో రాసుకోండి, right? No problem.
Okay,
I also, when I think in Tamil because I'm a Tamilian, right? So
Okay,
అది
ma'am.
తెలుగులో రాసుకోండి, then you translate it into English.
Okay.
And get it checked by someone whose English is good. Okay. And
Okay,
that you
okay.
mentioned, as TMD has mentioned, as an intro paragraph about you.
Okay, ma'am.
So I
Thank you.
think that is something that you should do, obviously following the rest of the tips that sir has given.
Okay.
Thank you, Meenakshi.
Thank you.
Before we proceed, TMD, my next question to you is about covering letters. Can you talk a little about what are covering letters and why are they important?
See, the covering letter is a space where you can talk about why they should hire you. The resume, you put a lot of data in it, saying that why they should hire you. Your experience is very relevant. Your qualification is relevant. You tie up all the data in the covering letter in 2-3 paragraphs. Why, if somebody were to ask you a question, why should I hire you? What will you reply? Will be in the covering letter. So a covering letter completes the resume. But many of the IT industry or people who are in the entry-level jobs, nobody allows you to send a resume with covering letter. They give you an online form. You have to just fill up an online form, on system shortlist, like we are doing in Zopa, right? We are also asking people to fill up an online form. We are shortlisting. In such a case, the covering letter content has to be cut and pasted in. There will be any other matter you would like to highlight, one paragraph, one text field will be there. You have to cut and paste it in the text field, so that you are saying something as to why you are suitable for that particular job you're applying. Obviously, this will change from job to job. You can't put a standard resume, you can't put a standard covering letter. So you have to make an effort. So what it does is to embellish or give some more weightage to your resume. If somebody looks at that and say, oh my God, okay, this is good, it's very good. So they seem to be having relevant experience, they seem to be having relevant qualification, have the right attitude to join my company. If these three are coming out in the covering letter, then your chances are better that when he looks at the resume, he'll look at it more favorably.
Got it. Okay. Let's go to the next resume. Mr. Abdul Rahman Siman. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Over to you, Timmy. I'll increase the font a bit.
Yeah. Go down. Yeah. See, look at that. He's written a description, but somebody written for him. Accurate and immensely motivated. Should not be motivated. The English is faulty. Finance student. you're applying for what job, Abdul?
For the auditing
For
auditing or finance manager.
Auditor or finance manager.
okay, auditor or finance manager. Okay, so then the finance is very important. Highly skilled at generating and analyzing financial reports, leading cash flow analysis. What is leading cash flow analysis? I don't know. Cash flow analysis I know, but leading I don't know. Possessing analytical skills and having an extensive knowledge of multiple tools and processes. Have the ability to work in team and also work in fast-paced environment. So this is a very good introduction. What we have been telling other two. He has written it correctly, but he has to improve a little bit. You can't write a word immensely motivate. That's wrong English, right? Motivated. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That's a grammatical error. So this will go against you.
Also,
Second,
this, I think, also
along
within,
with, yeah, with the, and also with within a fast-paced, within means hyphen is put within a fast-paced environment. That's, I mean, did you write it or somebody wrote it for you, Abdul?
Is my friend suggested. I mean, we
So who wrote the words, exact wording? Who wrote it? You wrote it or friend gave
yeah,
you?
I wrote it.
You wrote it. Okay. It's important that you should write it because you will not know if I would ask you a simple question. What is the leading cash flow analysis? Can you explain to me?
Leading cash flow analysis. I can't explain it, but my friend said right.
Your friend told you that.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
it's not your word.
is an analyzing of the cash flows, like the credit size and transactions of the debit size, that one. P
No,
account.
there is nothing like a leading cash flow analysis. Okay. You already said I am good in highly skilled at generating and analyzing financial reports. That makes sense, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a leading cash flow analysis, there's nothing like a leading cash flow analysis. See, that's why I've already found out that you didn't write it. Somebody else wrote it. So you have a big, if somebody wrote your resume, I'll throw it out. Okay. So please write every word in it yourself so you can explain. You got it?
Okay, okay.
Okay. So next is education, BCom. What is IAF?
That's International Accounting and Finance.
What is that?
International Accounting and Finance.
Indian National
Not Indian,
Accounting.
International Accounting and Finance.
What is that? I've never heard of. This is the name of the course?
Yeah, it's a BCom course. BCom honors with International Accounting and Finance.
Yeah. So it's, how will I know this IAF? I know IAF means Indian Air Force, right? So
Yeah.
you should write BCom honors in International Accounting and Finance. Why don't you write it? Why do you want to abbreviate it? I can't understand that.
Okay,
If I don't understand, you are not in front of me. What will I do? I'll throw it, right?
Yeah. I'll note it.
Yeah. So please expand it. Don't assume the other party knows what IAF is. That's what I told you, the Tapper experiment I told you, right?
Yeah.
I wrote Mangalore now in third year and 6 ACCA papers are cleared. I am an ACCA affiliate member. I am a ACCA affiliate members. What does it mean? I don't understand this.
Yeah. I'm doing
What is ACCA? ACCA is what?
Association of Chartered Certified Accountant.
ACCA stands for?
Association of Chartered Certified Accountants.
Yeah, so we've never heard of that. We are not Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, right?
Yeah,
I know that.
UK, sir. This
Pardon?
is from UK Chartered Accountant.
This
So
is
people
from
won't know
UK.
what. See, boss, in India, I know Chartered Accountants Institute. I know MCA. Management Accountants, right? The separate there's a cost accounting. I understand, but ACCA, I don't know what it means. So you have to explain that, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll note it, sir.
Yeah. So what is ACCA? How is it comparable with the Chartered Accountant Institute or a Cost Accounting Institute, right? And now I am in third year. Okay. So you are studying BCom now, correct?
Yeah, I mean now last semester.
Last semester. Okay. And you are in Mangalore now? Are you in Mangalore?
Yeah, Mangalore.
All right. Okay. Go down. So you are finishing when? When are you finishing?
In this year, August. In this
August you're
month of-
finishing.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Go down. strengths, punctuality, adaptability, discipline, trustworthy. All this I will not put it. I'll put some of these strengths into the introduction of myself when I wrote, right? I'm a highly disciplined individual, you can say, but trustworthy, hardworking. Nobody believes it, whatever you write there. Don't waste your time. But discipline is important for an accountant. So the word discipline should be added in the beginning of the paragraph when you wrote in the beginning.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Weakness, saying no, public speaking, all this is not required. Delete it. I wouldn't.
So weakness,
put
I
it.
should.
Hobbies, nobody interested. Cut it. Hobbies. You're a fresher, right? So nobody interested in hobbies. Cut it. Go down.
I think he's asking a question. Abdul, you're asking something?
Yeah, weakness, should I delete it?
Yeah, he's asking you to delete it completely.
Okay, okay.
I will not put any weakness because unnecessarily you're giving me an idea to say why this guy cannot say no. He cannot do public speaking. So maybe he's not good. Why should he put weakness? They'll ask you in the interview, you should say that at that time. That's a good thing. But normally people don't put weakness on the resume. They put strengths. Similarly, hobbies for a fresher, nobody's interested. So please cut it out.
Okay.
Personal details, date of birth, yes, year of birth is important. Languages, English. Now, I want to ask you, how good is your English?
Yeah.
Did your schooling was in English medium or in Kannada medium?
English medium.
English medium, right? So why you not mention somewhere else that you are in English medium schooling? Should
No,
bring
I
it out.
mentioned-
Go up on top. Anywhere English medium is there?
Yes, sir, I mentioned.
Okay, then highlight it. I missed it, you see.
Okay, okay.
Similarly, 12th, class 12 is also in English medium.
Yeah.
So mention that.
Okay.
Okay. And 74.6 is a good percentage. I like that. And this is on 57.44%. Cut it out. Don't mention that. It's not important. It's not a good number. This is the state board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, state board 57% is not a good marks, right? Something is not good marks, don't put it.
Okay.
And you are applying for an audit or a executive role, right? What about computer accounting experience? What do you know? Do you have any experience or knowledge of any computer accounting package?
Computer accounting, I don't have, sir. In Excel, I have Excel, PowerPoint.
That is not mentioned here.
Yeah,
Secondly, for an accountant, Excel is very important.
Yeah.
If you are very
Excel
good
I
in
have
Excel, mention that Excel is very important.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Secondly, you can enroll. A lot of people are offering courses now on computer
Yeah, I've
accounting.
done the Excels in Microsoft, sir.
Microsoft what?
Microsoft, they have given the trainings and exams and everything.
No, not Excel. I'm talking about accounting package. There is
Accounting.
Tally. There is Focus.
Excel.
Excel is not an accounting package. Excel is not an. I understand. You are saying I have gone through Excel training from Microsoft.
Yeah.
You got a Microsoft certificate. I understand that. That you mention it. Okay.
Okay.
But you must now enroll for a computerized accounting package course. You will not get a job now in the market if you do not know a computer package. And there are a lot of private parties offering this computerized accounting packages like Tally, Focus. Go online and search. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You can afford to spend 20,000-30,000 rupees, right?
Yeah.
So please spend that money and then say I'm certified as I'm Focus version so and so. If you mention that, you will get shortlisted.
Yeah, okay, sir. I'll do it. Note it.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
TMD, any comments on the declaration that he's made? Is it necessary?
Yeah, so declaration is not important. It's only for government jobs. In private jobs, nobody reads it. So delete this also. Not important. Go to the top, but your font, your professionally it is not done well. The first resume, which all of you saw, was beautifully done in terms of the look and feel, right? I told you address, I will not put in the beginning. I'll put the address in the bottom. It's not important. See, last time I was explaining to you guys, you got 15 seconds to decide, right? The first 15 seconds when I see your resume, most important point should come right on top. Address is not important. Okay, take it out.
Okay.
The next one comes your introduction to yourself. That's good, very important. Personal profile summary, very good. Have it there. Education, yes, is important. But you don't have, now above education, I will put a certification in Tally or Focus as an accounting package. I'll write that. Or I'm undergoing courses on this, I'll get certified in so and so month, right? But today, you cannot join any company as a fresher if you don't have an accounting package.
Okay,
It will
sir.
help you to get a better salary also. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
But the font has to improve. Look at what the first one which you showed. That should be the right kind of font and layout. That's beautifully done. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank-
you.
Thank you, Abdul. So, TMI, we have one more resume to go. I have one question for you before that. How important are reference letters
See, at
if
the,
you are a working professional?
see, normally reference letters are not useful at the resume stage when you're applying for a job.
Hmm.
Reference letters are useful when you go for the interview.
Hmm.
When you go for an interview, you can carry a reference letter if you want, but nobody is going to look and shortlist you based on the reference letter.
Hmm.
Right? Supposing I say I know BJP Vice President, I
Hmm.
cannot write reference letter. I am attaching for BJP Vice President. Secondly, if don't ever mention any political connection, because in private sector, if you have a political connection, it's a liability.
Hmm.
We don't want any person with political connection. So references should be of people who know, who worked with you. You cannot give uncle's reference or father's reference, no use, because they already know you. They're not going to say anything negative about you. So
Yeah.
normally reference letters are useful only for experienced people. It's useful to be produced at the time of an interview. It is not much of use at the shortlisting stage.
Got it. Saujanya, can you unmute yourself, please? You there?
See,
Yeah, Saujanya, I can't hear you.
Ma'am.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Let's go, TMI.
go down. See, I think all of you, Saujanya, you also must have done it in a cut and paste, right? You must have seen your friends thing and made it.
No, sir.
Yeah, that is why any resume, if you cut and paste from somebody else, you will not get shortlisted. You have to rewrite the resume like you write it yourself, right? Think about it. I gave you some guidelines. Please depend on that to write. For example, the font has to be different. It's very mild font. I'm struggling to read it. I told you use some colors and highlighters if you want to. Now you're applying for what job?
IT, sir.
Yeah. So if you're applying for an IT job, your
Yes.
Bachelor of Computer Application, BCA, you got a qualification of 68% in 2021. Now we don't have a job for last 1 year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So then pre-university, 58%. Is it an English medium or non-English medium?
Non-English medium, sir.
Kannada medium. Okay.
Yes, sir.
10th also Kannada medium. Okay.
Yes.
Go down, technical skills, programming languages. Now, if I give you a test and see, will you be good? How much will you pass?
Little bit, sir. Not much, sir.
You never put something if you can't take a test.
Okay,
So
sir.
remove from there whatever you are not extremely good at it, where you can take a test and pass, don't put it there.
Okay, sir.
They'll give you a test, you will fail, and then you will be thrown out. No point.
Yes.
Similarly, DBMS and data structures, you should know a lot about data structure. If I ask you 2 questions on data structure, will you be able to explain to me?
No, sir.
Then don't put it.
Okay,
Don't put anything in the resume which you cannot justify. You have to put only those languages which you are very good.
Yes, sir.
Finally, a project on civil estimation. I don't know what that means. Hobbies, nobody's interested, cut it out.
Okay,
Unless
sir.
you are a national champion, unless you're doing something else very good, you should not highlight. But I like one portion of it, things like mono acting and mimicry, that's interesting. But it not be useful for a shortlisting stage. The interview may be of some value. Personal information, date of birth is important, yes, or year of birth is important. So let's go up. This is all that, right? 1-page resume. Anything else here?
No, sir.
Yeah, so I think first and for my first comment, make it more colorful. like the first
Okay.
resume we saw.
Okay, sir.
Second, you need to explain to me why 1 year you don't have a job. What were
Okay,
you doing in the last 1 year? So you have to write something when you write your own personal summary, what we saw from last time. The gentleman who wrote, Abdul wrote a very nice description like that. You have to write something about yourself. Who are you? In
Okay,
that time, you have to explain what were you doing for last 1 year. That you are
Okay.
doing an online course right now. Please enroll for an online course.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can't be
Okay.
sitting at home and say 1 year I'm sitting at home. I don't have any job. Why? Online courses are very cheap courses available. Enroll for any course.
Yes, sir.
Microsoft has free courses on Excel.
Okay, sir.
So please enroll for, actually, we are doing a lot of them. I think what we should do, Akshita, all these people, you should give them the link. We are offering now free courses on IT courses with Microsoft,
Yes.
with our CSR program. TMI is organizing that in Rajasthan and many places. There are a lot of lovely courses available. I think you should popularize that in this people and ask them to enroll.
Definitely.
People are sitting at home doing nothing, and they're all free courses of Microsoft. Okay.
All right. I'll
So
send you.
you have to be studying something. You cannot say I'm sitting at home for last 1 year. Why did you not study more after BCA? Why did you not study?
Sir, I'll join in Bangalore Q Spider's software testing course, sir.
She's doing a software testing course.
Yeah, so where is it mentioned? Software testing course is not mentioned anywhere. So in the introduction, you say, yeah, in the introduction, you can say, I'm a very passionate about software testing, and so you should apply for a testing job, right? Don't apply for a programming job.
Okay,
If you are
sir.
getting certified in testing, you please stay with testing.
Okay,
And
sir.
testing, your English is not so important. If you're not good in English, don't go for a programmer's job.
Okay, sir.
So testing, you highlight that you were testing last 1 year, you're doing the testing course. Where are you doing testing course? What is the, when are we going to get certification? Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And Akshita, please post in the group that entire link. Talk to our CSR team
Yes, I will.
and get a link for all of these guys should go and do some courses online. They can't be idling at home.
Definitely, sir. I'll
That
send
is
it.
not acceptable. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. All the best.
So TMD today, as a bonus, since our events are good, we have a one very interesting resume that I wanted to show you, and I needed your comments for 5 minutes on that. So, Nitish, are you there? Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a very nicely written introduction, Nitish. I must say, looking forward to an entry-level positions to kickstart my career. I am adaptable. I should be capital there. I am adaptable and a quick learner. I can assure you of my professional personal growth because I have seen there's no space in between. So I told you, grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes are not okay. Okay. But second part is useless. I can assure you of my professional personal growth. It doesn't tell you anything. The first part is interesting. I look forward to an entry-level position and kickstart my career. I'm adaptable and a quick learner. Write something more about what you do very well. I like the look and feel. It's nice, neatly done. It's broken up into parts. The language fonts are very okay. I like that. You're applying for what job? Entry-level positions in what? In IT industry?
As a fresher, sir.
No, fresher in which industry?
IT, sir.
IT. So obviously, I'm looking forward to an entry-level positions in the IT industry to kickstart my career, right? You must say that IT industry, right? And you should apply for IT industry. You're applying for a non-IT industry. Don't write, I'm applying for an IT industry. I'm interested in IT industry and apply for a non-IT industry. So you have to change that paragraph depending on whom you're applying for, right?
Okay.
All right. Secondly is C++, then what? Python. Okay. And you highlighted it. Education is very clear. IoT, industrial-based automation. That's the courses you did. You're highlighting that course. It is good. And what is you finished the course or not? Final exam is still pending, right?
Completed, sir. Finished.
When did you finish?
Yeah, this year 2022 was last month completed, sir.
Yeah, so you should say that because it doesn't show that you're completed in the course completed in the month of April. Results have not come. Have the results come?
Yeah, not sir.
So you have completed, the results also have come. 8.65 is a good score. I will highlight that. That's not a bad thing. Then intermediate Narayana Junior College, Nellore. Okay. This is the IIT coaching place, Narayana, right?
Yeah, non-IT only, sir.
No, this is for Narayana. This is the IIT coaching college. They coach
yes,
people
sir.
for IITs. Huh?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Concept school. Was it a Tirupati is the English medium or Telugu medium?
English medium, sir. English
So you
medium.
should highlight that. Highlight it.
Okay.
English for IT, in your IT industry, English is very important.
Okay.
Organizations. What did that go up? See, these are all, organization is not correct word, right? These are all your
Okay.
personality. I'm good in teamwork. I'm self-motivated, time management. I'm good, I'm responsible, flexible. All this, you take it and put it to the first paragraph, which I told you, right?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So now going back to languages, put English first, then Telugu and Hindi.
Okay.
Interest, traveling, camping. Okay, not as important to me. I'm not interested. Go back. No, go back upstairs. I think it's a good, neat font, neatly readable. You're passing out in the current year. You don't have to explain, but you're still not explaining to me why I should shortlist you in our company. That's what you written there, right? Go above, go up, go up. What have you said? Short and engaging pitch about yourself, correct?
TMD, so this is exactly why I picked Nitish's resume. Nitish, have you written everything yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
But you have taken the template from somewhere online, right?
No.
See, I'll tell you why it looks like you've taken the template is because here you have to write a short and engaging pitch about yourself. Here you have to mention your project, personal projects. You have forgotten to remove the project name, the template filler that is given over here. And here you had to mention the organizations that you've worked for. So that is why this looks like you have taken the template, but you have not modified it correctly. So
Anyway,
that is why I wanted to
agree with you. I agree with you completely because there's quite a few mistakes also on this. Nitish, you have to make sure there's not a single mistake, right? What she pointing out are all the mistakes, right? And also the address, etc. Put it in the bottom. Nobody's interested in the address right now, right? Straight away, I would take this, the one which is on top, email ID, etc. Shift it to the bottom. Focus on writing that paragraph. You have to make a pitch. Pitch means you're answering. Supposing I asked Nitish, you're applying for a job in our company in software coding job. Tell me why should I hire you? Right? You have to write a reply to that, right?
Yes, sir.
Supposing you said, I am looking for a entry-level job in your company. I am very adaptable and quick learner. So you please hire me. I'll say, sorry. There are 1,000 people like you. Why should I hire you? So you have to think very carefully, saying that, again, in IT industry, there are jobs in testing, there are jobs in coding, there are jobs in networking. You have to study where you want to apply and then write the first paragraph. Should write, when I read that first paragraph, I should say, hey, Nitish is exactly the guy I want to meet. See, he's exactly mentioning he wants a kind of job he's applying for, he's interested, he's got the right qualifications, that is a computer science. Your Bachelor of Engineering, ECE, right? Again, is a problem. ECE is not relevant for computer science, right? And you have mentioned some courses here, C, Python. Have you got certification or just what you learned in the course in ECE? Nitish?
Just to learn easy.
So you need to get certification, boss. Because your qualification is not computer science, right? If you are an electronics and communication engineer and you want to go to IT industry, you need to establish your IT skills for me. So you mentioned C, that is not good enough. You have to say the projects that you did in electronic, what are the projects you did in IT courses, IT projects you did, and what certifications you've got. If you don't have, go online and acquire some certification. Do not apply for an IT company without an IT certification. Many of them are freely available online. You should go and select something in Python or in C++ and get yourself certified and mention the certification. Microsoft certification or IBM certification. All this will help you. Okay. You mentioned IoT, industrial-based automation. Do you have any certification on IoT?
TMD, I think he is dropped out because of his network. He was having some network issues. So I think he's dropped out. But Nitish, when you view this online, another suggestion that I think I have from my end is a name should never be written in small letters, right? Either you mention the first in capital or you just remove it is my suggestion. But thank you so much, TMD, for taking out the time to do this. And we will see everybody next week. Before we go, I have...
you must give them the link to online courses available free.
Yeah, so the link will be mentioned in our description. And also the people who've joined us today and who's got reviewed from us, and the people who got to know about the YouTube live from us will be getting a follow-up message about the courses that we are offering.
Also request all of them to post a small message about their feedback on the review that we do.
Absolutely. As TMD said, we always welcome feedback. So if you could all just take about 2 minutes of your time and write a feedback about this review and how you guys gain from it. And also for our live viewers, if you guys have any suggestions for us, we are happy to welcome them. That being said, I would just like to take a minute and mention the phone number. 44. So this is the number of our SMS helpline. You guys can send an SMS with your career questions, job questions, and we will get it answered by TMD. It is 91540-30544. So that's our number. And the second thing that I wanted to mention is please work on your resumes. And if you guys have any more doubts, please reach out to us and we will help you out. But please go back to your resumes, customize them as TMD said, make it colorful, make them customized for the job and the company that you're applying for, the role and the company. And please like, share and comment and subscribe to our channel for more career related content. We'll be seeing you on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month. And some information that was shared during this live was one address that is important on the resume is the address that is close to your job and not your hometown. If your hometown and where you're currently living is different, please mention where you're currently living, because that is what the people of the company or the recruiters are going to look for. Reference letters are for interviews and not for CVs. This is not to be included in your CV. They are separately taken when you go for the interview. The thing about date of birth is not relevant, but your years of experience is definitely relevant, or how old you are, that is relevant. And a covering letter is a letter that mentions why you should be hired in a company. So these are the points, key takeaways from this live. I thank you, TMD, for joining in, and I thank all of you for joining the live session. And we'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.